Welcome to the Information Technology Services Mastering Maize and Blue podcast. I'm so happy that we were able to do this. My name is Bridgit Bradakis. I'm a bioengineering and mechanical engineering dual major going into my senior year on campus. I'm part of the First Gen leadership team, soon to become the First Gen org. I'm also part of Glee Club and Swing Dance. And my favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird, which I think has a lot of relevance to today's world.
Hi, I'm Justin Tancinco. I am a mechanical engineering major, and I am a part of the ice hockey team as an equipment manager, and I am a member of the Student Association for Filipino Americans, and my favorite superhero is Deadpool.
Today, our guests, if you'd like to each introduce yourself.
Go for it, Brian.
My name is Brian Hoang. I am a Service Center Support Specialist with the ITS department on campus. I have been a student here since 2013, but I became a full-time employee in 2018.
Great. I am Amy Finley. I am the Dean of Students and an active user of the Help Desk. Everybody there knows me because I rely on our fabulous ITS team to help me navigate simple and complex issues that I have both from home and when I'm on campus. So I'm really grateful for their continued support, and that's part of why I wanted to be here today. But I've been on campus for a long time and just love meeting new students. So I can't wait to meet all of you watching this.
This had already been addressed. So.
Well, you know what? I will just add something else. Can I add something else?
Of course, go for it.
Sure. So I've been on campus since 2004 as a full-time employee, in 2003 as an intern. And I think what our incoming students are going to find is it's really a home. It's not by accident that I've stayed for this long. Many people change jobs, they find new employers, but this is such a great place that people want to stay. And so I just know for our new students, they're immediately going to figure out that this is a home for them.
So starting off our questions, what is a unique name and why is it important? And what is Duo and why is it important? I think Brian could answer and address this question.
Yeah, so a unique name is like a username for all the services we have. You'd use it to sign into just about everything you need here. So that includes your umich.edu email address, UM-Dearborn Connect, Canvas, Victor's Link, the campus Wi-Fi and campus computers, just about everything you need. A really good resource page we have is umdearborn.edu/students. That's where you can find links to everything I mentioned. If you don't know your unique name or you need your password reset, then the IT service desk would be more than happy to help. We just need to talk to you either over the phone or chat to verify your identity.
The pro tip is that unique names are also located on your UMID card.
As for Duo, it is a two-factor authentication system that we have on campus, required faculty, staff, and students. It's meant to secure accounts so that way, whenever you log into any of the services I mentioned earlier, it just has to prompt you to verify it's really you, either through a push notification, a phone call, or a text message to a smartphone or personal device you have on you. It's that way in case, say, your username or password are compromised, no one would be able to sign in unless they had your smartphone on you. You can also use two-factor authentication for other services. I have it set up for my Amazon, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, a lot just to help lock down those accounts.
All right, so you briefly mentioned some of the resources that students have access to, but specifically what types of resources do students have access to with their unique name and the UMich Google Suite?
Well, I'm happy to take this. So, you know, at the University of Michigan-Dearborn, students have access, and staff and faculty have access to world-class technology. And that's one of the advantages of being in a school like the University of Michigan. So as you see here on the slide, we have the entire Google Suite. So most people know that that includes things like email. So your email will come, your UMich email will come through Gmail. It also includes a very robust calendar. And I know I am not always great with tech, and I find it incredibly easy to use the Google Suite. The integration of the email and the calendar and to-do lists and Docs and Google Sheets, which is what I believe we're presenting with today. So that provides a lot of great utility for students. You can also connect a personal email address through the Google Suite. So if you happen to have a personal address like number1wolverine@gmail.com and you wanted to be able to quickly roll back and forth between the two, you can easily do that. Again, top-notch access as a student.
Agreed, it's all very handy.
So what is Canvas and why will it be important for students at UM-Dearborn?
I can answer this. So Canvas, at a glance, is our online learning management system. It's where you'll interact with your professors the most online. So this is where your professors can post assignments, exams, quizzes, files for you to read through, your syllabus. You'll also find your grades and discussion posts. It will also send you email notifications whenever these are posted, and your professor can use them for announcements like, hey, exam was moved, hey, I have this up. There's also a smartphone app, so you can install it on your phone if you wanted to have quick reference to things while you're on the go.
Wonderful explanation and description, but I would just add that in 2020, as we're looking at a remote fall semester for the most part, Canvas becomes increasingly more important, right? And so I just encourage students to find the way to interact with Canvas that makes the most sense to you. As Brian mentioned, there's an app. I know a lot of students who use the app, and I know other students who don't and prefer to use the web. And you can identify how you want the push notifications, just the way you can in other social media and such, so that it really matches your style so that you don't miss any information. Faculty keep lots of good information in the Canvas shell, and that can include, you know, estimates of your grades and seeing kind of where you're at, so you have a moment-by-moment sense of how you're doing in your courses.
I find myself using the Canvas app a lot, especially for notifications from teachers and stuff, because I won't always be checking Canvas on my computer. So the app really does help a lot for me.
Cool.
All right, so we do have this upcoming remote semester for fall 2020. So how are classes going to be meeting online? Do students need to download anything to meet with classes online?
So not necessarily, but you absolutely can. So you can use Zoom or BlueJeans or Google Hangouts using a web format, which is apparently what I've been doing. And then I realized the other day that you could download the Zoom. So I called ITS, and this is just a perfect example of how great they are. And they said, sure, we can help you with that. And then they said, did you know you already had it downloaded? So I just encourage you that regardless of how stupid you think the question is, it's not a stupid question. ITS was like, no big deal, glad to help. So always reach out to them, even if you are just a little bit unsure. They explained to me that there are some advantages of downloading, for example, the Zoom app, so that you have the ability to get updates and have the latest, greatest, but you don't have to.
So outside of like video conferencing and Google Suite apps, what other resources do students have available to them on UM-Dearborn and with their UMich email?
Well, there's a lot of cool stuff. So a few things that come to mind right away are LinkedIn Learning, which you see here. And that is an opportunity for students to build some skills. There are short modules, long modules on hundreds and hundreds of topics. even things that might support some of your academic coursework. So for example, if there is a concept in a particular course that you're having trouble with, how to calculate a mole in chemistry. I only use that example because that's something was really hard for me when I was taking chemistry, and I would have loved to have been able to go to a resource and say, okay, I need another person helping me understand how to do this. Lots of students are used to using YouTube for this type of purpose, but one of the things we know about LinkedIn Learning is that those videos and those modules have been vetted. So on YouTube, you hope that they've been vetted, you hope that the answers are correct, but I think it's more reliable to go to a source like a LinkedIn Learning. But there also may be some professional development features that you can use in the LinkedIn Learning that can help you, brush up some skills. For example, there might be some Microsoft Excel skills or Microsoft Word skills that you can use. These are things that might not be taught directly in a class, but would certainly benefit you in an internship or a co-op or even doing some of your coursework. We also have access to Dropbox, and so lots of folks use Google to store some of their documents and to do shared work together. We didn't talk about Google Docs, but that's certainly part of the suite. And a lot of people, myself included, use Dropbox, both personally and for work, to store large amounts of documents. There are so many. Coursera is another example of a piece of software that's available to our students. Silver Cloud, which is a mental health platform. So you may be feeling in pandemic and being stuck in the house for 4 months that you're just having a hard time, and maybe it's not enough to engage our counseling and psychological services team to ask for some support, but maybe you might like the idea of walking through some self-paced modules on how to be calm, how to meditate, yoga, things like that. So Silver Cloud is available for free to students to use. I mentioned Coursera. Coursera has the ability for you to participate in interesting courses, and all of these are just options, right? So students aren't expected to go and use all of these, but instead to take a look at sort of this gallery of options and say, here are the 3 or 4 or 2 or however many that I really think would benefit me, because that's what's most important. Okay, well, I feel like I'm taking this one again too. So as the Dean of Students and having worked for 17 years in a combination of offices that support student life on campus, I know you all have heard a bit about Victor's Link already, but I want to just repeat and double down on everything that you've already heard. Especially in a time like now where we have a lot of folks that are taking courses remotely, it's really important to build connections. I have no doubt that the opportunities for people to make connections, lifelong friendships, and build community are still present even during this pandemic. But it requires everybody to do their part to engage. And part of that engagement is getting onto Victor's Link. It takes about 10 seconds to set up using your university unique name and credentials. It's very easy, but then it gives you, once you log in, it gives you access to information for all of our student organizations. We've just come through another re-registration process. So my guess is by the time we start school in September, we'll be somewhere in the 175 student organization range. You can take a look at what they're up to, what they're about, how often they meet, what kinds of programs and activities they plan. There's also a calendar function there, so you can take a look at when they might be having speaker events, other things going on that you could participate in. And it may not be that you today decide, hey, I'm going to get involved in 3 of those. But I think having an understanding of the landscape of what's available to you is really helpful, so that when you decide it's the right time for you to get involved, it's really easy for you to do so. So setting up some of these things like your Victor's account will just make it easier long term. Cork, as you see on the screen here, is the app that's associated with Victor's Link, so you're able to download that and use it that way as well. Again, some people use it in the web platform and some people use the app, so you want to do whatever makes the most sense to you. One of the fun features in Victor's Link that might not be relevant this fall, but just to keep in mind, is there's an opportunity for you on the calendar to sort events, and you can sort by free food. And I know when I was a college student, if I saw something that said free pizza, I moved much more quickly. So it is kind of fun if you're out and about on campus and you think, I wonder what's going on today. And you sort by free food, you'll get a sense of who's got something going on with some food. So there's some fun things available to you on Victor's Link. You can also track your service hours, which you may already know. But for those of you who are thinking about a career in the health fields, having a robust list of all of the times that you served and what you did can be very helpful for your applications to medical school or dental school, et cetera. So, think about how you track those activities, and you can do so free on that app.
Okay, so what types of problems can ITS help a student with? Brian, if you want to answer this one.
Yeah. So the IT service desk is here to help students with just about everything IT related. So that usually ranges from like account issues, I need help getting my password reset, or I need help setting up Duo. We can help with that. We can also help with using tech resources on campus. So something like the VPN, walking a user through getting that installed and set up, why they would need the VPN. Any of the resources Dean Finley had mentioned, including like say Dropbox or the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite or Office 365. We usually have an answer for just about everything, and we can always pass along to a group or person who would know if we don't have an answer.
They always have an answer. I just want to underscore that. And often Brian has provided me the answer because oftentimes he's been assigned to my project, so I apologize for that.
Hey, I'm more than happy to help with everything.
And then what if I'm interested in working for ITS?
So currently we don't have any positions open, but we usually post about it on the signage you see on campus or on our social media. We have a Twitter at UM-Dearborn ITS. Follow us, cough. Our staff is usually student workers, and we are more than happy to work with your schedule. We also provide training for customer service and technology skills. So you can come in, and if you're interested in tech, we'd be more than happy to take you. And we provide all the training for how to answer phones, how to process tickets, how to do remote sessions. Just a lot of great growth here. I was a student worker back in 2016, and I am full-time. We are very flexible with your schedule, and if our student staff, say, has an internship for the summer semester, they can go off and do that and then come back in the fall with their job.
So before we address this question, is there anything else that either of you want to address before we continue that wasn't mentioned in these previous slides?
I think I would just add something that Brian said that I thought was important and I don't want to get lost is students also have access to the Adobe suite, which is a pretty big deal, and it's pretty expensive if you try to get the licenses yourself. And while we're not all at-home web designers or graphic designers, that software does indeed come in handy for almost anybody. So, just taking advantage of all of those platforms, or at least understanding what they do, so that even if you don't think you have a need for it now, as a circumstance comes up, you would be able to use it and know that it's there for you.
And I want to add on to that, the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite includes like Photoshop, Lightroom, InDesign. All that is available to students, faculty, and staff for free. And I know that a lot of resources for learning how to use that software is available on LinkedIn Learning. I am an complete amateur to Photoshop, but LinkedIn Learning really helped me put together some graphics for our super cool ITS Twitter, which you should definitely follow if you're listening.
Okay, so do you have any advice for incoming students this coming fall?
I sure do. So this is an unusual fall, right? And it's really, really, really important that even though it's an unusual fall, you take advantage of the opportunities that are available to you as a college student. So there's going to be lots of outside the classroom activities that are happening, even if they're in virtual format. You may think, oh, I'm not going to go to those. I'm going to wait till the global pandemic is over. I'm going to do this later, but later becomes 2 years. And I think if you talk to any current student who's involved, one of the things they will regularly tell you is they wish they had gotten involved a little bit earlier, or they at least wish they had investigated what was out there. Again, my key theme here is it's not that you have to do it all now, but I think it's really appropriate to explore and understand what's available to you so that when you are ready, when it's the right time for you, you can take advantage of those opportunities. So again, just take a look, see what's out there. Even though we're in pandemic, we still have tons and tons of things going on. If you're not sure what's going on, then you can go to Victor's link and you can look up the calendar, or you can go on to the Office of Student Life's Facebook page, where every couple of nights there's a video telling you what events are upcoming. As we roll into the fall semester, those videos will be more frequent. In summer, they're a little less frequent. If you want to volunteer to create one of the videos, you don't have to make up the content. We provide you the events. There's so many different ways for you to think about engaging that I urge you to start following these different groups. Apparently, the ITS Twitter would be an important one to follow, but there's so many different places on social media to follow the university and to follow Student Life. And you know, it doesn't take much to press a button, but it might mean exposure to an event or an activity that could really be life-changing and transformational for you, or could introduce you to some new, very close lifelong friendships.
So for me, my advice would be your calendar is your best friend. It's important. It helps you stay organized, especially when you don't know what day it is anymore. But I strongly recommend putting your classes into your calendar, what assignments you do, meetings or events for anything extracurricular, so anything you'd find on Victor's link, put that in your calendar, set it up so that way it syncs to your phone, so that way it's right in your hands. Staying organized is probably the best thing you can do for yourself, not just for your classes, but also in general, especially when you don't know what day it is. And then here's some contact information for ITS. So our hours are Monday through Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Fridays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We started offering weekend hours on Sundays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's only chat and tickets, so you can chat with us live at support.umd.umich.edu, or you can send us a ticket at umd-service-desk@umich.edu. If you wanted to call us during our normal weekday hours, you can reach us at 313-593-4357. And we have a knowledge base full of support articles for things like how do I get set up with Zoom or Creative Cloud, or more at helpme.umd.umich.edu. Some people probably say they have us on speed dial, so.
Yes, two most important numbers on campus are ITS and then campus safety. Just in general, especially while working orientation, that's one of the ones that's just on speed dial. So thank you to both of our guests, Brian and Dean Finley, for being here today and talking about ITS and all of the resources available to students. For those students listening that are ready to keep mastering Maize and Blue, you can visit the U of M-Dearborn website and see all of the past ones and potentially visit any of the upcoming ones. We'd love to have as many students as possible. These are here as a resource for you, another one that the university is providing, and we hope that you take full advantage of them. So thank you again.